companies, if you care about your green report card, then you'll get an A if you use us, okay? And here's some of the reasons why. We do have a professionally installed roof garden up there. It goes around, it's like a little perimeter. We added a lot of plants and such. This is actually my favorite. I know it's hard to tell, but it wasn't a wood planter, and the wood fell apart, but the plant's still doing really well. It's kind of cool. If I could figure out how to sell that, I would. We have 2 wind turbines on the roof. So the solar, you saw the solar panels, we have that hooked into one electrical meter, and that partially powers our printing presses. We have 2 wind turbines that are into a different electrical meter, that partially powers our graphics department. So we are trying to generate our own electricity. Solar works wonderfully. Wind, it's not all that windy in Linden, but if you're at the ocean or in other places, it would be wonderful. Recycling, we recycle everything we possibly can, cartridges, paper, batteries. And so I get questioned all the time about being able to tell me, so what are the numbers? You know, what do you recycle? We're not that scientific, we're printers, okay? You like that, so basically what I tell you is this, we used to have 2 dumpsters every week that had to be taken away. Now we have 1. So if the business has grown and my garbage has decreased, then obviously we're doing something right as far as recycling and reusing. Just a little common sense. In addition, we have, we just signed earlier this week, when we first moved into the building, I had all the lights replaced for high efficiency. I just signed on again. It's gonna be 9 years. I'm redoing them all. So we're getting all new lights, high efficient lights. The second part of that is, on the roof, this is just a vent, but as you might notice in video, we have a lot of air conditioning units. I just signed to have the last 3 old, inefficient ones replaced. It's part of a grant in the state, so I'm taking advantage of it. So I'm really excited about having gotten over that hurdle in 9 years, because you can't do it all at once. So all my air conditioning and heating units are gonna be high efficiency, and all my lights are gonna be high efficiency. They claim that the return on investment is like 2 years. I think they're full of it, but if it's 4 years, I'll still be happy. We are talking about doing some composting. We have 2 lunch areas. What do we do with all that? If it's in the building, it's gonna smell. If it's out of the building, it's gonna grow legs. Somebody's gonna just steal it. So we're talking about having a committee or people to empty and put it on the roof so we can use the composting for earth to plant our vegetables. We also, we're talking about, I know this is really kind of goofy, but as kids, the butterflies, the monarch butterfly and other butterflies in this country at least, they're going. You just don't see them as often. So now there's these kits you can buy to raise butterflies. So as crazy as I am, I might actually be getting a few of these kits so we could start actually raising and releasing butterflies. Why not? They're pretty if nothing else. We tried and tested for a while a white patch, like, you know, the heat of the roof, okay? And I'm sure you guys, you know, we're talking about the heat, you know, where you come from. If you paint it white, it's much cooler than if it's black. So how much less electric do you need to cool your facility? But here's the flip side. In a location like here where we have the seasons the way we do, come the winter time, I want that roof to be hot and capturing the sun. So the difference in temperature was astounding. It was on an average day 30, 40 degrees different, but we haven't forged ahead with it because I don't have the calculations and I'm just not sure. But this is the mindset. This is how you know, I tried it. It's okay if it works or doesn't work. Want to go next? So the rooftop. This is last year. We're not up to these beautiful tomatoes yet, but you know what we noticed was we started planting tomatoes up there because I've always loved gardening, and God, they love it. I mean, they just grow like wild. So how do I put that together with food for the community? So that's exactly what we've done. We've got eggplant, peppers, like 15 to 20 tomato plants all lined up there. Once a month, we're gonna harvest it and bring it to the food pantry. Whatever we give them, we give them. We capture some rainwater, and all these plants are good for butterflies and bees. And so it all comes full circle. And this is part of caring about the environment and being a sustainable company. Yes, as a printer, we recycle our paper. Okay, every printer can do that. Yes, we use non-petroleum based inks. Anybody can do that. It's all these other things. Some places think it's okay if they just buy and offset carbon credits. That's nice. We do a little bit of that, but that's the part that falls through the cracks for us. We really want to talk it and walk it and do it ourselves. Part of the plants, we have a butterfly bush up there, which was really kind of cool. And again, some of my employees think I'm completely nuts when I have 5, 6 people lined up shoveling these planted, plants up onto the roof. However, when I went up there and there was like a butterfly, I was pretty excited. The variety of flowers that we have up there, these were specifically designated, and with Todd's help, we actually brought in the right plants for the bees and for the butterflies, and not just any plants. So we are making an effort to move forward. Milkweed is a big one, which I don't know if anybody's ever heard of milkweed, but that's a real big plant to be growing around here. So this all leads, because if you didn't think I was insane already, into my honeybees. We have 5 honeybee hives on the roof. We harvested last year over 200 pounds of honey. We put them in jars, we label it, and we give it to customers with pads that have little pictures of bees on it. They don't forget us. So how do you remain top of mind? I'm trying to sell. You've been in New Jersey for just a few days, but you could see it's endless how many prospects or possible customers there are. So how do I walk in and make sure they remember me over the next printer? Well, we all print, we all do a good job. Well, they don't, but I do. We offer a fair product at a similar price. So how do I get them to remember who I am? When you walk in, you start giving them honey that's been harvested. Or better yet, you invite them to your place to eat the honey out of the hive. And they come to a big event. This is how I get stuck in their mind, so to speak. So my honeybees, a couple of things. Now, anybody, are you guys familiar with honeybees? Anybody have them or familiar with raising them? A few guys saying yes. So women, you should love this. and I have mixed feelings on this. So the queen can lay up to 2,000 eggs a day and determine their sex, male or female. When she needs in the springtime the male workers to go do the dance and bring all the pollen back, she makes men. Okay, great. Come the winter time, because it gets cold here, they need to hunker down. So what happens is the females all surround the queen. They live off of what they foraged and produced, and all the men get kicked out in front to die. This is, I'm sorry, what? Yeah, they actually do. They kick them out. The drones, when you go up there in the wintertime, it gets cold, you look out there, they're all over the place, just dead. And at first I was horrified, but no, that's actually what they do. And it's not nice. Live bee cam. Further craziness perhaps. However, how do you keep people interested and really looking? If you go to our website, there's a link and such. You can see this is a camera inside a hive. So we can watch them, and it is fascinating. I have security cameras on my desk, but instead I minimize those and I watch the videos. Don't tell anybody. But it really is fascinating to see these guys come in and out. You'll see them with the pouches of pollen and such. So it's fascinating, and we need them. We need them desperately, the environment. For whatever reason, it's chemicals called neonicotinoids is what we're spraying on all our plants that's killing our bees. People, they don't want mosquitoes in their yard, so they spray this stuff so they don't get mosquitoes, but it's affecting everything else. So we need bees. Other initiatives, we have on our roof nighthawk patches, because the common nighthawk in urban areas have not enough places to drop eggs. We're working with the New Jersey Audubon to make this happen. So far we have not had luck, but that doesn't mean I'm going to give up, because why not keep trying? We had a Boy Scout build a chimney in front of our building for the swift, because those two, they like to roost in chimneys. Nobody wants birds in their chimneys, so they cover them up. Well, here we have one. This is, yeah, hold on one second. Okay, so this leads me into the next thing. Paper, my world of printing is all about paper. And everybody says, don't use paper because you're killing a tree, right? We all hear that? Don't print this email, pay everything online. Okay, so that's greenwashing, is what we call it. Basically, if you plant a tree, cut it, replant it, cut it, replant it, and you reforest, those trees that you're planting are the best thing for our environment. So, in North America and Canada, the number on one of the slides is much higher, but I've been told no less than 1 million trees are planted every day in reforesting the millions of acres of land. So if you picture that, it's a science. And they don't just wipe out forests. What they're doing is they're taking the right trees at the right times. It's a science. So they're taking into account the water, the aquifers, the animals, where they are, how long they've been growing, okay? And there's links to all this also on our website. So if you reforest trees, it's really good to use them. Like a flower, you cut flowers, or you cut your tomato plants, so you replant them. So what's the difference between a tree? And I'm not saying that we start cutting down these big, beautiful trees. That's not the spot to do it, and put up another building. That's upsetting. But when you have a landowner, okay, you own 1 million acres of land, 1 million acres, and you get $1 per acre. That's pretty good. But if I stop using paper, you still want your income. So now you're gonna say, okay, we'll pour some concrete and we'll build. So now you have your money. So the point is, reforesting is good for the environment. There are millions of people employed because of the paper industry. The flip side, no, we don't waste. I use both sides of the paper, and we reuse it, of course, because why would you waste? The second is, if you use virgin fiber out of certain forests in certain countries where they just wipe it out, it's terrible. I agree. So reforesting is what this little film is going to show you.